Good day, everyone. This is Irvins. If you're having problems starting to look for a topic for your position paper, this particular e-lesson would be very much helpful. In this e-lesson, we will cover the following objectives. Number one, define a position paper. Number two, enumerate the parts and uses of a position paper. Three, uphold one's right to freedom of expression. And number four, formulate a claim about the significance of writing a position paper. All right, let's start with what a position paper is. A position paper is basically used to generate support on an issue wherein you want to convince or persuade your readers or your listeners. It describes a position on an issue and the rationale for that particular position. We also refer to this as a position essay, argumentative essay, point of view paper, and even a manifesto. Whatever you call it, a position paper is based on facts that provide a solid foundation for your argument. The main purpose of this is to basically convince your readers of the soundness of your arguments and have the readers agree with your thesis or what you're trying to advance in your particular paper. In this position paper, you should have several things like evidence to support your position, such as statistical evidence or dates and events, validation for your position by use of authoritative references or primary source quotations, an examination of the strengths and weaknesses of your position, and an evaluation of the possible solutions and suggestions. These things will be elaborated in the position paper that you will pattern after an academic essay. So here we get to see the structure of an academic essay. Recall that when you have an academic essay, we usually would be having three main parts: the introduction, the body, and the conclusion. We will also be adding a reference list, which should be observing the APA format. Now, take note that in the introduction, you should have the identification of the issue, the statement of the position, and the thesis statement. So these are things that will very much guide your readers in anticipating what you will be discussing for your academic essay. Add to that, you have a lead in, which is an interesting way to capture the reader's attention. And as an option, you can present an outline of the main arguments or points that you will be discussing. Now, in the body, take note that it should explain, expand, and support the topic sentences which are anchored on the thesis statement. When we say explain, expand, and support, this should contain supporting evidence or facts, a discussion of uh, the sides of the issue, and basically references that are practically validated and are credible. Take note that the topic sentence here will focus on what you have written on the thesis statement. Okay, we will be covering that once we discuss the thesis statement. And finally, you also have the conclusion. In the conclusion, it's basically a restatement of the main arguments made in the essay and the final recommendation or comment that you have regarding your position paper. So this should practically suggest courses of action or solutions that your readers or listeners should be embarking on or taking action. And you also have the reference list. Again, please follow the APA format, which we have been discussing for the past few, or which we have discussed already in the previous lessons. So, again, to just emphasize on certain parts, okay, we have the introduction, the body paragraph, and a conclusion. The introduction part is where you explicitly introduce the side of the issue that you are taking. The body paragraph would be supporting the thesis statement that you have with research based information. And in the conclusion, you have to propose a course of action. In the e lesson, please read this essay by Jonan Donaldson regarding skills versus knowledge in education. If you have questions, please feel free to raise them in the e lesson.